Hello everyone and welcome back to Just Finish Coding. This is part 3 of our casino shell game which we're making on Scratch 3. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
Just finished coding.
Now I have to interject here that if you've not watched parts 1 and 2, please watch them before you come here because as you can see I'm picking up from where I left off, and for this video to make sense you need to watch the previous ones. I will leave a card for you right here. Please watch the videos and then come right back. If you're still here, I'm going to assume that you've watched parts 1 and 2, in which case let's continue with our code. So the first thing I'm going to do is to fix an error which I made in the last video, and that is within the beach ball sprite. And what I did was, instead of decreasing the speed continuously to make sure that the cups start to shuffle faster, I increased it, which made the cups shuffle slower, which was exactly the opposite of what I was supposed to do. So you can just change that 0.01 to negative 0.01, and that should make your cups slowly get faster over each time. You can see that visible impact, and eventually it's going to get so fast that it's pretty hard to keep track of, and that's the entire point of the game. I mean, we wouldn't want the player to win so easily, otherwise it defeats the whole purpose. So there we go, that's going to be the shuffle, and once we're done with that, we can get to the we can actually get to the text part of this. Okay, so now when the green flag is clicked, what I'm going to do is go to a particular position, and that position is going to be, let's go ahead with x0 and y negative 150. Okay, and after this I will make sure I hide, and then I will set a new variable. Actually, I'll create one and then set it, and this variable is going to be called clickable, and I'm going to follow this up with a question mark to indicate that it's a boolean variable and can contain only a yes or no value. So here we will set clickable to no, which means none of these squares can be touched on, basically, or rather they can be touched on, but nothing's really going to happen since this variable is set to no. Alright, so after this we can get back into the beach ball, and after we're done with this entire repeat 30 times, we'll broadcast a message to basically say that all the shuffling is over and the player can make his choice now. I'm going to call that message, you can just say broadcast, you don't have to do broadcast and wait. The new message, I'm going to call it ask player. That's what I'm going to call it. So ask player, there we go. And I'm going to head back into the text, and I'm going to say when we receive ask player. In this case, what I'll do is I will show this particular sprite to tell the player where is it, just show that text, and then I will set clickable to yes, so that the player can now select one of those 3 cups. So set clickable to yes, and that is pretty much all you need to do. So what I'm going to do now is go to the left cup, and I'm going to do the code right here. So I will go to events, and then I'm going to grab a when I receive, not actually when I receive, but when the sprite is clicked. And this is crucial because this is where that clickable variable really starts to come handy, because in case we just have when the sprite is clicked, the sprite can be clicked even when the game is not on, and we wouldn't want to show where the beach ball is that time. That's just going to be a total catastrophe. So now we can grab an if else, and we can basically say, not an if else actually, just an if would do, but we need an if else soon, so I'm keeping it. This is only going to happen if we're going to have the clickable variable set to yes. So if clickable is equal to yes, then I'm going to head over into this if else, and I'm going to say if the position is equal to, this is the left cup, so it's going to be -1. So if the position is equal to -1, then I'm going to broadcast a message which says player wins, and in case the position is not equal to -1, then what I will do is I will broadcast a message saying that the player has lost. So I'll broadcast lose. And once we're done with this, it's very important to make sure that we set clickable back to no. And if we don't do this, then we are going to get a whole bunch of errors, because the player may select another cup right after this and just destroy the whole game. So set clickable to no, and that's it. So the player can no longer change anything more, And now we can throw this code into the center and the right cups. So now we can get into the center cup, and change this position to 0, and then we can get to the right cup and change this position to be 1. Alright, there we go. So next I'm going to head back into the text, and we obviously wouldn't want to show this in case the player won or lost, and that's why all this text is there for. So I'm going to say when I receive win, I will hide, and I will also hide when we receive a lose. So duplicate this, say when we receive lose, hide as well. Alright, there we go. So next we can get into the you win sprite, and this is going to be fairly simple as well. Okay, so we're going to have a when I receive, and we'll also have a when green flag is clicked. So that's from events. So when the green flag is clicked, what I'm really going to do is just go to the particular position which should be saved. It's going to be x0 y negative 120, and then I will hide. So just hide myself, and once I receive, not -1, but when I receive you win, or in this case just win, I will basically just show myself, and then I will broadcast a reveal once again. So we can just reuse that entire function which we had there, and that saves us a lot of code. So broadcast and wait actually, and that one is called showball, not reveal but showball. That's what I called it. So you can just show the ball, and that's going to show up in case, this is assuming you have selected correctly, and the ball is going to show up from, it's going to levitate on the cup which you clicked, and then it's going to come right back. Exactly what we need to do. And after this, I'm just going to stop all to make sure that, the whole process stops, and we just go right back into the thumbnail. I obviously didn't do the thumbnail yet, but I will do it in this video. Okay, so now we can get into the you lose. And you can actually throw in all this code from you wins as well, and it looks like I kind of messed up the game. So let me throw it, okay, so some error this way. So let me throw it like this, and let me also dump the message. So this should work properly. There we go. So we have both of them within the you lose sprite as well. I'm just going to change this to you lose here, and there really isn't that much of a difference. I mean, we just leave it as it is, show the ball, and it's just that we show you lose instead of a you win. So the final thing we need to do is within our thumbnail, but before I do that, I'm going to make sure that the code works once. So let me quickly, just have this thing shuffle up, and then I will click to see, if all the input works as expected. So there we go. It's doing a series of shuffles, and once all of this is done, I'm just going to pick one at random. Okay, it turns out I selected correctly and I won. And I'm just hoping that, a you lose comes as well, just so that I know both the messages are actually working out. So this might take a second or two because, this thing doesn't happen instantly. So there we go. And I'm going to select this one. And as it turned out, I lost. So perfect. All of this code works. And now all we need to do is set up this thumbnail. So what we can do as far as the thumbnail is concerned is grab a when green flag is clicked. And when the green flag is clicked, I'll go to x0, y0. And after this, you can grab a forever. So within this forever, the first thing you need to do is say go to front layer. And after this, you can say set ghost effect to 100. So set, set ghost effect to 100. And ghost effect 100 basically means that the image is totally transparent. And what Scratch does is when we press the red flag or stop the entire game or whatever code we have, all the special effects are going to be basically deleted instantaneously, and this ghost effect is going to turn into a fully opaque image. So when we're opaque, we're going to be right at the front, and thus we're going to block everything else. So just to show you what I mean, I can press a start and stop, but as of now nothing worked because I didn't show it yet. So you can add a show, start and stop, and there you go. You have your thumbnail popping up, and if you save the game right now, you would be able to share the project as well with your thumbnail appearing in the search. I'm going to end this video here, and I do hope that at this point you have a totally working shell game, and I hope you had a nice ride making this game with me. If you've enjoyed this game series, please make sure you click on the playlist on your screen right here, and that'll take you to a brand new game segment. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next series.